Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sharon Oyella, and today I want to show you how I crocheted the faces on these little pumpkins. Before we get to those pumpkin faces, let's talk a little bit about my background scene. That little bat there is called a pocket bat. That is a free pattern on my blog and also here on my YouTube channel. The cute little ghost back there is called a pocket ghost. He lights up. He's a free pattern on my blog and also here on my YouTube channel. The trees in the background, I show how to build those kind of trees on my other channel called Where the Gnomes Live, and that link should be popping up on your screen. You don't have to click it right away. It'll be there for the duration of this video. In celebration of October, I just released a video on how to build a spooky looking tree. Let's take a look at it. If you're interested in building something similar, I have a full tutorial on my other channel, Where the Gnomes Live, and that link is in the description box below. Alright my friends, let's talk about those pumpkins now. This is a free written pattern on my blog. The link is popping up on your screen. You're going to go make your pumpkin, and then you're going to come back here and we're going to do the faces together. I'm going to show you how to crochet the bobble nose, how to add the eyes, the mouth, and also how to sew the stem in place. I kept the faces fairly simple, so all you need is yarn. So what you're going to need is a strand of black yarn, a strand of white yarn, the same yarn you use to make your pumpkin with, a blunt end yarn needle. This is a size 13, you don't need to get the exact same size, the same hook you use to make your pumpkin with, and a pair of scissors. So let's make our bobble nose and we crochet it right onto the pumpkin. If you have troubles with the bobble, which I'm going to walk you through every step in a second here, you can make the little nose that I've given alternate instructions for in the written pattern. Then you would just sew it in place. It looks a little bit different and I prefer the bobble nose, but the choice is totally up to you, whatever you find easier. Okay, so we're going to find between the 9th and 10th row, and I've already marked mine off here so I know it's right there. I'm going to go underneath the 9th row, and I'm going right beside that line, and I've turned my pumpkin upside down. So there's the top, and there's where we finished off. So I'm working this way. Okay, I'm going to lay the yarn over, and I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to chain one. Now I can let go of that yarn tail. So I'm going to make a bobble using 5 double crochet. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go back underneath that 9th row, just how I inserted my hook the first time. Grab the yarn and pull it through. I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And there I have 2 loops. I'm going to do it again. Yarn over, go underneath that 9th row. I have 4 loops, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and I have 3 loops. Yarn over, going back under, and there's 4, and I keep going till I have 6 loops on my hook. There's 5, so I'm going to do it one more time. One, two, three, four, five, 6. Now I can yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. Now I'm going to finish off. Leave a little bit of a tail for sewing. And pull that yarn tail through that loop and pull it tight. I'm going to get rid of the starting yarn tail. A lot of these ones here, I just used that finishing yarn tail that I used to make these lines with. I just used that to make the bobble because it was always long enough. Okay, I'm going to bring this through and out. And I'm just going to cut it free. Now this finishing yarn tail, I'm going to use it to pull the bobble into the face. First of all, let's turn our bauble the right way, so push underneath it. This is still the top of the head here. A bauble is like a little bowl. Okay, now I'm going to bring this yarn tail underneath the bauble and out anywhere. And pull. I just pulled it into place, and now I'm going to knot off. Pull tight, bring it out anywhere, and cut free. And you'll see that the nose is pretty much centered right over that dividing line there. And that's because I went on just on the outside. I turned it upside down, remember? And I just went on the outside of that line and inserted my hook. So let's add some eyes, and we're going to start with the black first. And we do these steps before we sew the stem in place. So there's our nose. We're going to wrap the eyes around the 9th row. And we're going to insert our hook right up here where the stem is going to be sewn in place, where we won't see it. Bring it down, and just under that 9th row, and you want a little space between them, maybe a stitch hole between them. Pull it through, leave one strand up here, pull the other one through. Okay, and we're going to use this to make both eyes and the mouth. Now we're just going to wrap around the 9th row. We just do this 2 or 3 or 4 times. How many times you want to add it is up to you. I just wrap until I like what I see. And you don't want to pull too tight because it alters the shape. If you see any stuffing being pulled out, just push it back in. I think I'll do one more. I believe that was 4 times. Okay, now I'm going to bring my yarn needle out through the other side, go down through the head, and then come up underneath that 9th row, which is right here. And I'm going to wrap over here and make the other eye. I'm just pulling lightly. I'm not pulling that yarn tail too tight. I think those are about the same. Yep. Now I'm going to bring this yarn tail down and out between the 11th and 12th row, so we know this is the 9th. 9, 10, 11, and 12, so in between these 2 rows here. And you can do anything you want for a mouth. I don't overthink it, we should make him grumpy too. I'm going to bring it through here. I'm going to come out anywhere where it's comfortable, because it's a little bit harder to work in there because it's dipped in. There we go. Got 1/2 of his mouth made. Now I'm going to go back in the same stitch hole I just came out of. And I'll come over here. And guys, you can do any mouth you want to. You don't have to do the same I'm doing here. And now I'm going to go through the middle. And then out anywhere where it's comfortable to bring the yarn needle. Good enough. I think that's good enough. Sure, why not? I think he looks great. Okay, I'll bring this up here, and I'll come up here, and I want to knot these 2 off. So I'm going to bring them on the other side of a stitch hole. Usually I bring them through the same one, but here I'm going to knot this off, so there's no chance of them ever pulling through. I'm going to knot it off on the top. I'm going to thread them both, and I'm going to carry that knot down and out. Come through a stitch hole, just carry it away from that area, and it's pretty much hidden up there, but the stem is going up there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to pull on these slightly and cut. If you still see black in here, just reach in beside it with your needle and just give it a swipe to get rid of it, and it's all gone. Okay, let's add the white, and you can see I've done different things for every single one of my pumpkins. They all have a different look to them. It all depends on where you put that white, and it's totally up to you. I'm going to show you how I put it in there. I'm going to bring my yarn to the top, and I'm going to come up right beside where I put the black. Bring it through, and the same thing, leave one yarn tail hanging up here, and I'm going to wrap over. And it should only take once. Sometimes twice is good. Okay, I'm going to go over here, down, and come on the other side, wrap over, and down. Yeah, that looks good. So I'll bring this up here and come up right beside where I went in. I'm going to pull this, but I'm not going to pull too tight because it's going to alter the shape. Just give it a little tug. Knot these two off. And then I'm going to thread them both and carry them away just like I did for the black ones. So the yarny eyelids there, you can make them small or larger. It's up to you. Most of them all have the same ones going on the slant there. I'm going to go through, and it doesn't matter where you go through here because you can knot off anywhere. And I'll bring that yarn tail down here in the corner. Bring it through. And it's pulling the stuffing through, so I'm just going to pull back a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to wrap over. Again, don't pull too tight. Every time you pull it through, just guide it into place. There we go. And I'm going to do a number of wraps until I'm happy with what I see. So I'm pushing the wrap in the back of the eyelid now. So I'm guiding it into place and then pulling once it's where I want it to go. Okay, I think I'm done with that one. And if the yarn tail is long enough, we can go on the other side. And then do the same thing on the other eye. Wrap until they match. Okay, so once you're happy with the eyelids, you can knot these off anywhere because of the same colored yarn. So I just brought it through a stitch hole, and I'm going to knot it off right here. I'm just going to wrap around a stitch post, bring it through, and my yarn tail is pretty short there, so I'm going to push it through that loop and pull it tight. Now if that was really short and I couldn't thread it again, I would just push the back of my needle up there, push it through. There's always different ways to do things, eh? Pull it through. Okay, and now I can pull it through. And we just want to pull it through once and then you can cut it free. And then we know it's not going to ever come out of there. And the same thing for the other side. All that's left now is the stem, and I've made the stackable stem, so the short one. And I've already threaded it through the yarn needle, and I'm going to bring it from the top to the bottom. Pull it through. And this only takes a couple of stitches. Okay, now I'm going to go back in the same stitch hole I just came out of. And I'll come up, go through the bottom edge of that stem, pull the yarn tail through. Now I'll go right back down the center again and out the bottom. Just make sure it's sitting on there nicely. Okay, back in the same stitch hole I just came out of, and I'm going to do the another stitch because I'm going to bring it through that one bottom edge on the other side and then back through again. Some of them are super easy to sew in. This one's giving me a little bit of trouble and I don't know why, but that's okay. Okay, that looks better now. Much better. And that is sewn in. Now I'm going to go back in the same stitch hole I just came out of. This is the last time I'm going to do this. I'm going to come up right through the stem itself, and I'm just going to knot it off up here. Wrap around a stitch post, go through that loop, and pull it tight. And now I'll carry it through the stem and cut it free. And there we go, one stackable stem sewed in place. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I'd sure love to see the face that you've given your pumpkin. You can post pictures on my Facebook page, Emma Groovy Freely. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you super soon.